the mics are on, and off we go. Hi guys, my name is Rini.
I'm Ray.
And welcome to the Wheelspin Podcast, the home of Formula One content and everything motorsports. And I hope you had a lovely weekend.
Yeah.
Did you?
Did you?
I did. My weekend was actually good, but you know, like nowadays weekends come in like it's Friday and then suddenly it's Monday morning.
Yeah. Especially if you're watching your phone, it's like whole weekend.
Yeah, it's always like that's the thing that gets us so excited about, you know, weekends mostly.
Yeah.
But did you have lights? I imagine I didn't have lights on Saturday. Okay, PLC did the thing.
I did, but they got lost for a minute and then they came back.
So you're lucky. Did you watch the whole race?
Yeah, I did.
Oh wow, beautiful. I remember I watched it up to like lap 44 and then now my phone gave out. So I had to like now watch the race on Twitter on another device. So we're just going on Twitter. You know how you check like updates on Twitter.
Yeah.
And also now I discovered something else. Like, you know, once the lights did end up coming back, but like way later. And then I realized that everyone has a different perspective like of the race, because when I was on Twitter, I thought when I went now to watch the rest of the race.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, now I'm watching, not live. I mean, of course, the adrenaline is missing now
Yeah,
because I know who won.
Yeah.
You know, the same. Yeah. I actually realized, you know, I had a different race on Twitter, and then when I came to the actual ground, I'm like, it's different.
It's different.
Yeah. So that's the thing. I will always prefer to watch my race live and not like from like maybe written Twitter stuff.
Yeah, it's because, you know, when you're watching on Twitter, the race is ahead. Obviously, while someone is typing and whatever, you can see the updates. But you want to see the action.
You want the adrenaline
live.
injected like 100%.
I mean,
I know.
was there any adrenaline?
I mean, okay, let's just dissect the whole weekend. We had Friday. We had already like on our previous episode, we took you through the whole format of Formula One. We said Friday is practice, Saturday we have a practice session, and then we have qualifying.
Yeah.
And on Sunday we go racing.
Yeah.
On Friday, I mean, I feel like the walls of Monaco got more action than I did this week. There was so much, like, the only action was like everyone is kissing the barriers.
Yeah.
It's like kissing.
Brushing and kissing the barriers.
I mean, the tension between the F1 cars and
the barriers.
Oh, God. Crazy. Yeah, so Friday was off to a good start. I mean, Thursday, was there anything, like, from the media pans? There's nothing interesting apart from...
The whole Lewis Ferrari drama. They just had to ask him. They just had to...
And it
actually, they asked Charles.
They did, and Charles was so like, I know he was like awkward a little bit. He's like,
but he was like, "Hey, Lewis."
Fanboying now, fangirling all over Lewis.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll all agree. I mean, if you're in that proximity with Lewis, I mean, I'm definitely fangirling.
Yeah.
100%. But Lewis did tell them, like, I mean, I'm so sure with the previous weekend not being a race weekend, the media was.
They just wanted a headline, but. He did say that he's in the end or nearing the end of contract negotiations.
Yeah. So
you're seeing Lewis again.
Oh, I love that. Like, we'll see him again. And again, my absolute dream is to see him live. Like, I don't want him to retire without me seeing him race live. Like, that's one of my absolute like dreams. And I'm actually like, yes. It's like I'm a local optimist. I went like into this weekend with so much optimism. I had said again. Remember, my race predictions were actually like very diluted. Off. Why no.
Your predictions were off, but anyway.
Nah, we did come so close to the podium anyway. But we are catching up, you know. So I think that was only hard heater coming from Thursday, their headlines. So it wasn't like anything out of the ordinary.
But everybody knew Lewis was gonna stay at Mercedes.
Oh, he is gonna stay in Mercedes.
So we're gonna have to see if it's a year, 2 years. Yeah, let's just wait and see.
But with Lewis, I'm guessing it's like a year. He does. I think he doesn't do multi-year contracts. Yeah. So also, I did see a cute thing. Like, there was that interview with Bottas and Joe. Like, and then he was asked, like, apart from your, like, you know.
Yeah, your teammate.
Yeah, who's your
best friend on track.
Lewis. Yeah, so cute.
I'm happy to see the bromance is still alive.
I actually love Bottas. Bottas is a fun sport. I mean, he does like exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Like stuff like on Thursday, there's that whole November thing. He doesn't shave his for like a course.
Yeah.
I mean, we even have like a bat photo. It's like a whole nude photo of Bottas on Instagram.
Yeah, he actually gave Lewis like a framed one. I signed it. So it's happy to see that they really, even though they're not racing in the same team, they're still like close friends. Yeah, it's always nice to watch that, and I love like bromances. They're so cute to watch sometimes. So, Sebastian came to the. He came to the Monaco, track. Yeah, he lives in Monaco, right? Yeah, I think he lives in Monaco. Many drivers live in Monaco, anyways.
Yeah, so we did see him.
Yeah, with again Lewis, the bromance with Lewis.
It's always just so beautiful to watch and just see how everyone blends with everyone.
Yeah, and then we did free practice one that got the Mercedes fans very.
But I mean, hopium. It's called hopium. We were deep in it, like inject, like without diluting it. We were like concentrating there.
Yeah.
So FP1 was, I mean, nothing really for sure that was, I mean, out of the ordinary. No one wants to really show. As we said, FP1 is just basically, you're just trying to see how your car runs.
Yeah, on the track.
I did see even like Max go back to the garage to his setup was not working. Yeah. They took him back to the garage. Mercedes had a run. Albon now is one who went off in FP1.
Yeah.
And then there was a red flag. The session was red flag, right?
Yeah.
But we had was it Lewis who took the shits on FP1?
I mean, almost everyone did, but
at the end of it all, So that was a good FP1 practice. I mean, but in Monaco, it doesn't do it much. They were just getting to know, like, I mean, I think the cars were getting a feel of the
track.
The track with the new added chicane at their Saint-Divor.
Yeah, and the track was resurfaced as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. They keep on, and I did like hear something like, the residents in Monaco, like actually it was done like so efficiently and so fast.
Yeah, this is a track that people actually use. It's a street circuit.
Like people drive on this.
Yeah,
road, right?
you wake up in the morning and on the streets of Monaco, you're actually driving on the Formula 1 track when racing goes to Monaco.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why even like the traffic coming into the track in the morning.
Yeah.
Is all, like on race day or like especially race day. I even hear the drivers come through the.
Yeah, they use boats. The yachts. But Monaco is such a,
who and who. I mean, honestly, I'd just love to go there for the hype of it. I mean, I saw so many celebrities coming into to Monaco. Tom Holland is one who also like just waved the checkered flag on Sunday,
and he was so excited to do it. That's for the first time I've seen a celebrity actually
very excited
to actually he was able to wave the checkered flag.
I hear there's always like techniques. There's a way like apparently yellow flags are waved either like is it like side by side or like up and down, and then there's a way to he was very excited. It was just a good like excited waving of the flag.
Yeah.
But let's say the most excited someone is to wave a flag.
I mean, if you're told today, Winnie, let's go, and you're gonna wave the checkered flag.
Me? What? Like, I'd just be the moment. I'd be like extra. Like, what are you saying?
You'll be like, I'm waiting for the first car to come.
I'm like, so
I can wave it.
I'd be like this, like, you remember, I keep on seeing those old races in Formula 1. It was so crazy. There were no barriers. People used to come to the track before the race is over.
Yeah.
And then they're waving the flag in front of the driver, like, you know how dangerous that is? I mean, I don't know. I think I'd be, like, if I was told. Also, this weekend, I also got like a close look to the checkered flag. Like I could see.
Yeah, the names. I did see the names of the checkered flag.
Apparently, and I told you guys you can pay for your name to like appear there.
Well, I'm hoping someone
pays.
My
name is Winnie, guys. Feel free. Or you can just have our podcast there, like the Will Spin podcast. Yeah, that would be cute.
Hopefully, one day we can have it on track.
Yeah, so I think. As you asked me, like I think I'd be one on YouTube, like how to wave a flag.
I mean, if I was told I would like buy a flag and like practice, I'd be like,
you'd buy a flag, right?
Trying to wave. I want to be perfect.
Yeah, like I would even like try to watch like previous like videos of people who've waved.
Yeah.
Flags. I think we're very excited by flags, red flags.
Well, I mean, and then we went to practice too, which was, you know, the Mercedes fans who had hopium were brought back to us.
we were like, now you guys, you have to come back here. This is where we are, you know.
Yeah, because Max
you know, turn up like
turn up
now, you know. We saw the real pace of the Red Bull.
Yeah.
Was there anything that happened, like did anyone crash in FP2?
I'm not sure, but I doubt.
Yeah, but so in FP2 we had like that, it's not a sandwich, but we had like Verstappen.
Yeah, and the two Ferraris.
Yeah, we had so many close encounters. I'm telling you, the tension between those barriers in Monaco and the F1 drivers, huge. So we had the cars literally like, even Max had so many moments with the walls, with the barriers. Yeah,
so you're brushing the wall, you're smooching the wall.
You're like, oh, do I really want to get close to this wall?
Yeah.
So it was like interesting to do that. Like,
yeah, so many drivers had their moments with the wall. Did. Even Charles had his moment.
He did. Like Sainz as well. Sainz did crash in FP2. He's the one who brought up he did.
Yeah, he did.
At the end of it all. Yeah. But it wasn't like as bad as maybe.
Yeah, the times were already set.
Yeah. The times were set, so, and then
yeah, that's what happened. So we went to that was Friday. And then
that's Friday, Good Friday, I mean. Yeah. We ended on a good.
I mean, the Monaco, the Monaco waltz didn't claim as many casualties as we thought.
We actually expected more.
Yeah, expected a red flag in every session.
100.
If I'm being honest.
Me too. Like, I mean, it's so probable. Even everywhere, even during quali and even race, like there's just a probability of a red flag.
Yeah, and then Saturday.
I love Saturday. It was sunny, nice.
Yeah. FP3.
FP3 we had Lewis doing the thing. He's the one who decided like, but it was such a weird place to crash, you know, for him.
Yeah, and I thought he just went into the barriers.
He went into
them. You know, like
I think he lost control of the.
Yeah, I think I don't know, maybe made a mistake and was trying to correct it. I don't know if it was oversteer or something.
I think it was understeer. I'm not very sure what happened. Yeah,
but so he it was such an unusual place.
Because I don't think anyone has really like went off there.
Yeah. So, and I thought he would actually like be able to reverse and like continue, but that was a very weird place to park.
And very to park badly.
Sir, you can't park here.
You can't park there. And then we had like the whole circus of the whole
I didn't even believe. I thought they were gonna take the car and load it on a truck as they usually do.
They had a whole crane out.
They took a crane. Imagine you're in your apartment and you're seeing just a Formula 1 car.
Do you know?
Hoisted
like
up above in the air.
6 feet. Like it was so high. I mean, I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, wow.
The funny thing is, Twitter went wild. It was so funny.
It's because, when we talk why is it significant? It's because, like the flaw of the car.
Yeah, everybody could see it. It was exposed.
The flaw of the car in Formula 1 is quite, like, important.
Yeah.
It's like there's a lot of... when what we're saying about the Red Bull is like very aerodynamically efficient.
Yeah.
That means like the lift to drag ratio, that's like how they measure efficiency. That means it's like quite good. Like there's not so much drag. And some of that like aerodynamic efficiency is contributed to by the flow of the car. And and it's a big it's one of the tech revolutions in like Formula 1 at the moment, the ground effect, calling it the ground effect. It was actually a concept that was like, I think, first introduced into F1 as early as 1977. 90s. Yeah, imagine the 70s. And apparently by Lotus, in fact, I've been like seeing this team. Lotus was actually like a pioneer of so many things, so many like tech stuff coming into F1. So in fact, like the ground effect was like a thing running in F1. It was banned even. And then now with the change of regs, where we have like engineers trying to, interpret that's why we have a different, like every car is different. We have engineers like interpreting the rules differently, coming up with, you're trying to come with
everybody wants an advantage.
And that's where like we did see eventually, like when Perez had his moment in quali, which was sad, his car was also hoisted up as well. We got to compare now the two floors of the cars.
Yeah, and Formula One is very, like, the moment Lewis's car was hoisted up, the photographers are very keen. They want to take close-ups.
Those are nudes, like for the car. Like, it's very important.
You want to see, but the Mercedes is not the lead competition, so
but it was nice to just actually see if they had changed their floor.
But I don't think they did per se, because of the budget cap.
But what they're trying to do is come up with like upgrades within the constraints of the budget as well. So as I was saying, like the ground effect, that's the reason. That's also another thing that's giving like Red Bull a cutting edge, is because with the ground effect, it's like you see that floor. That's why it was very different, like the Mercedes floor and the Red Bull floor. Yeah. So ground effects works in such in this way that the floor is designed in such a way that there's reduced like drag with the air coming below the car.
Below the car.
So that means there's low pressure at the ground. That makes the car stick to the ground and gives the tire more
better grip.
And with grip, faster you are. And that's you don't see Max like really struggling with grip, or
how
like
to
moving
place
around.
the car.
Do you see like Mercedes how they
especially the rear of the car it's fighting with the car.
It's fighting with the car. It doesn't want to stick down. So the ground effect is the one that really grounds the car and like gives it the low pressure thing, and then makes the car stick to the ground and gives better grip to the tires.
But isn't Adrian Newey there?
Because if you looked at those two like
the comparison,
flaws, oh my god, I can see there's a bit of detail that goes into the Red Bull floor as compared maybe to the other floors, but that's just like a takeaway from like the whole hoisting of their
FP3 ended on that note.
Yeah, Lewis, kissed away. I think Orlando also as well. Like he went off somewhere. Was it in FP3? Or was it quali?
He was quali.
Yeah,
he did.
He did.
He did.
Oh yeah, that was like when we got.
Yeah.
We went to quali. Saturday was just like me and Revo. I think depending on like who you support, quali was not like
I feel like if I'm being honest, quali was more action packed.
Yeah, it was
as
good.
compared to the actual race
itself. Oh my
itself.
god, really?
Yeah, I feel for me, quali had me on my toes. I was not breathing.
Because you don't even know where you're going to.
Because you don't know, number one, you don't know who's going to go off on the track.
And you don't know at what point they will go off. You don't know if like your driver has set like
a time, and not just a time, a substantial time.
Correct.
To make sure they move on to the next stage. So a red flag would have appeared anywhere. And now, I mean, Q1 here, we had a red flag.
Yeah, we did have, but at least the session was resumed after, because he crashed quite early on. Yeah, in the session.
He crashed. I think in the there was like 11 more minutes to go. Yeah, that was the session. The session was stopped. Yeah, and it was Perez.
It was sad.
I mean, Perez crashed as well last year as well.
But at least he crashed during Q3. Not like Q1. No, this is sad. Now this is like he's sealed his fate. He's going to start at P20, and then at that bottom 5, Sainz was there.
Sainz and Lewis. Yes, and Sainz was P19. Yeah, and Lewis was P15, then P16, and I'm like, what is happening to the grid? I mean, I thought we had like more, I thought it was like going to be a Ferrari, Mercedes, Aston Martin, Red Bull fight for pole. But then we're having these drivers like at the bottom. Hey, we saw actually Lewis like really, I mean, it was pressure. Like he was driving under absolute pressure for him to actually get out of Q1. Yeah, and he had to put new tires for him to set a competitive time.
right? I was like, does he have any more left tires? Like, he used up so many because we struggled getting into Q2, getting into Q3 as well. So Q1 was good. We lost Perez and a couple of other 5 cars.
Yeah.
And then we went into
Q2,
also action packed again.
Yeah. Was pretty much, I would say, in quali, if I could say that maybe leaving the Red Bulls, the times are pretty much very close to each other.
They have bunch.
They're actually they were tens of seconds off of each other, so you had to push the limit.
And the track is evolving. It was
evolving really
like
fast.
Very key. Like you're seated. Ocon was actually that was Q3 again.
Yeah.
You're seeing cars that you're not often seeing at the top. Like they're setting very fast, times around Monaco. And the thing about Monaco is that it tests the driver like 100. Like your skill has to really show around Monaco.
Around the track.
Yeah, because you're dealing, as we were saying, you're having like, you're cutting the barriers. Like if you want to extract as much as you can, you're cutting the barriers. We even had like, I could see sometimes like the commentators like say, oh, he was like 14 centimeters away from the wall, 9 centimeters away from the wall.
I mean, with Q2 also, even though the number of cars is reducing, there was also the whole thing about traffic. So it depends on when your engineers, or rather your team, is going to send you out.
True.
So they might send you out early, which might be advantageous in case someone
like a clear track in Monaco, you're going to have a good run. Like
I think people, the person who had a good time was released when there was no traffic was Leclerc in a point, because he was just him on the track. But True. I mean, you can get released early, and then that is an advantage, because maybe someone might red flag the session and then it doesn't continue. But also, if you're released early and the track is ramping up very quickly, fast, your timings is gonna fall. Because quali was very interesting. You will see people who, just randomly someone setting the fastest time, and
Yuki is on top of the table.
And you're like, what are you doing here?
What's happening? Yeah, so I feel like for sure, like a clear track is good.
Yeah.
But also, when you say Leclerc was released into clean air, he had a sensational lap. I didn't love it. He put it together, but I mean, I think in Q2 it was just good for P2. Yeah. He did end up going P2, and then. What was this? Was this Lando?
But let me tell you, Alonso was literally.
Ooh, yeah.
If this man would actually be the one who's driving on track, not actually with the car, because the car is not up to par with the Red Bulls. Definitely. But he was extracting everything from the car. You will see you're running, and he's doing a lap. Fastest sector is Alonso.
He's just doing magenta. Like it was beautiful to watch. I feel like he was, as he said, he described his driving. He was driving like an animal, and honestly, he was extracting so much from the Aston Martin, and he really, I mean, he did take the whole like prowess. He's as you said, he's the most experienced driver on the grid. He's driving a good package from Aston Martin, and he actually put the count pole. He was on professional pole for some minute until we had like last second
in Q2. Lando Norris also had the tension between the drivers and the track, and he
barriers, and he actually thought after he crashed, I thought they would like red flag the session.
I also thought they would red flag the session. Actually, Lewis was under
my god, I thought we would not make it to Q3 again.
But he continued, and I think his nose had he broke his nose.
Lewis did?
No, Lando Norris by hitting the barrier.
At least he was able to go on.
But at least he made it. Theoretically, he made it into Q3.
Yeah, he did. It's that funny. He's the one who touched the barrier. He didn't run again, but he was lucky enough. No one did a better time, so he was. Yeah,
Piastri was just thousands of a second behind him. He wasn't able to make it into Q3, so he wasn't able to knock Lando Norris out of the number 10,
So at least now,
spot.
I mean, he went to the garage, took out and it's always beautiful to see the mechanics. They really do put in work.
Yeah, they fixed that car very, very fast. He was actually able to run in Q3.
I actually thought he was not going to run in Q3,
yeah,
but he was able to run in Q3. Okay, but I mean, props to, they come to the weekend with already packaged things. So for per se, is just knowing where what goes where. Like they're not trying to fix anything from scratch per se.
Yeah.
It's just fitting. Like that's why the nose comes, it's ready. They're already fitting the nose and everything. So that was like good Q2, and it was like adrenaline. Like Lewis, oh my god, he got us like
on the edge of your seat.
Like,
this man is he's under threat of being not proceeding into Q3, and then he goes 6th or 5th,
and you're like, wow. And that's the thing, like track position in Monaco is very, very important. That you want to qualify as high up as you can. Because realistically or like on paper, overtaking on track is quite very difficult. So like the action only comes in when it's strategy.
And if there's a safety car.
Just all those aspects. Exactly. So we went to Q3 where we thought Alonso had it in the back.
Q3 was a whole lot.
Ocon had provisional.
It was so intense. It was there was a minute Ocon had it, and the next Alonso had it, Leclerc also had it.
Oh god, And if we had gotten, even the run Lewis was on, like if you check the lap, that the I did read that they didn't in fact fuel enough. As you said, fuel loads are very important in Formula One. So apparently they hadn't fueled enough for two laps. For 2 laps around, for the quali laps. So if you had checked, in fact, he had not gone quickest on that first sector. He was quickest. The lap he had started, he was the quickest. And he could have given a month like Hamilton sick. Like there's that word people use on Twitter, I keep on forgetting. But he was on to something. I feel like if they had given him, like if it gone on the second run, it would have been something. Alonso gave us like a good show.
I really, really thought Alonso was going to be on pole.
Me too. Actually, like looking at like Max's like first sector, second sector. They weren't good. He wasn't improving.
He wasn't improving on his time.
It was a brilliant drive, but I mean, we have to give it up for the Red Bull. I mean, the DRS detection zone in Monaco is in the last sector, right?
In the last sector.
So I'm guessing that played a role in actually also helping him. I don't know how he made up for that time.
This man pulled 3 10s. 3 10s in just one sector.
That's
the
crazy.
Last sector.
Yeah, because I really thought after seeing his first like second sector time, I actually thought Alonso had it. And then they come with this. I'm like,
and then it's boom. I'm checking my timings and
0. But
Max
also
Verstappen.
it was just like 1,000.
It
was like quite a marginal gap, and we'll have to see it. So we had Max, on pole. Max, Alonso and Leclerc. P3, and then we had Ocon, and then Lewis.
Then we had.
Is it Sainz?
No, it was Sainz. Sainz was before ahead of Lewis.
Oh, okay. Lewis and then
Gasly, then Russell, then Yuki.
Yuki,
he started 9th.
So Lando started 10th?
Yeah, Lando started 10th, and Oscar Piastri started 11th.
Oh, that was a good one it was a good weekend for, like a good quali session also
for the McLarens. Yeah, but Yuki started 9th. I was really excited for Yuki.
Him, he didn't have quite like a good race as
very unfortunate.
He finished out of the points.
Yeah.
So then we went to Sunday. Well,
but the like people say the Leclerc curse in Monaco. It hit
the family now in Formula 2.
It hit his brother, but also it hit him because in Q3 in quali he impeded Lando Norris as he was getting out of the pits.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was given a 3-place penalty.
Really?
On the grid on the starting grid for Sunday. Whoa. So he wasn't able to start 3rd as he would have started if he did not impede Lando Norris. So and that was very unfortunate for him. He started 6th.
Oh yeah, I got lost for a moment.
And now everyone else who was behind him was promoted. So Ocon started 3rd, and Sainz, then Lewis, and then now Leclerc.
Oh, Leclerc then Gasly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was nice. I'm also saying, like, talking about the Leclerc cars feels like a family thing. Yeah. We had his brother in quali.
Well, that was very unfortunate.
And then in the race, his car had an issue, a brake issue.
Yeah, he lost the brakes and he had to DNF.
He DNF'd on lap 9, which was sad as well. So, but Charles did complete the race at least. So the second time now.
Yeah, so
that was nice. So we went to Sunday. There's such a short run from from the start grid to the first corner, so there's not so much.
But option. I feel like the race started a bit on a high, if I could say. The race started on a high because there was so much speculation of rain.
But the rain wasn't going to come at the start.
Yeah, the rain wasn't going to come at the start, but there was so much speculation of rain coming to the circuit.
For sure.
In the course of the race, maybe. Yeah, at that time, people were just in the last laps of the race.
Yeah.
But yeah, the race started, and I kind of expected more action, but it's Monaco.
Yeah, if you're going, like, the thing I'm actually like telling people is, like, if you really expected action there, like Monaco on track, this was actually to be this race is more of like driver precision. Yeah. Like your prowess is showing in these tracks where you can go off at any point. Yeah. And also now this was going to be like our race engineers, like the strategy team, like it was going to be a collective effort. Your strategy is going to win you because gaining. Okay, but we did see.
But I think Alonso had a better start than Max.
And I feel like but he also got away quite easily as well. Like I feel like we did see a bit of action, a bit of overtaking. We did see Nico Hülkenberg, like Sargent was having quite the race. Like it was so bad for him.
There's a point they went bowling, so it was the whole Sargent with Lance Stroll, and there was Perez up in the whole mix of that. I think Sargent he picked up
he had damage.
Yeah, he had a problem. Mm-hmm. And he went back to the pits.
Oh yeah, that was before. Well. But yeah, we did see like a bit of overtake by I think Nico. So he did, and maybe like one other car, or is it like Perez did overtake someone on track?
He had
a horrible start. We did see. Seeing the cars come out, Max decided to go on the mediums.
Yeah.
Mediums. Alonso was on the hards.
On the hards.
Ocon was P3. Brilliant start. I feel like he bested that track.
Yeah,
he really tried. He kept.
He was very composed and
he's such. I keep on saying Ocon is the tallest driver on the grid. He's actually quite tall.
He's the tallest.
Yeah. How tall is he? I don't know. But
I don't know.
Yeah, he is quite tall. So he's quite composed. He drove so beautifully. Kept the pressure. Here it's either you pressure the person you're following behind to make a mistake, so you can take advantage of that. You close the gap, or maybe you can jump into the pits for an what is it called? An overtake?
Undercut.
To overtake, it's called an undercut. So so either jump into the pits.
Yeah, and try to cover off.
Yeah. So you can be on a fresher, especially when you're chasing, and you're not getting close to this person. It's always good.
But Monaco was pretty much just strategy. If you had a better strategy, you had a better chance of winning.
Oh, not winning. Oh my God. Winning is just for Max. I'm sorry. Winning is just for Max.
But the thing is, when we started the race, so many people were in contention for the last podium place, the P3. We had Ocon, we had Sainz, we had Lewis Hamilton, we had Charles Leclerc. Yeah. Everybody was pretty much in the mix of trying to get the final podium position.
Because the gap that Max pulled on Alonso was also like crazy.
It was very fast in the first few laps. It's 2 seconds. 2 seconds. The next few laps it's 5, 8.
And it actually grew to 9. And then we got to a point where I
don't know. I feel like but now Max started I would say complaining about his tires, but that's no.
That was bluffing.
It was bluffing.
I feel like it got to a point where Max build such a big gap.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people were saying Ocon is holding people up, but I'm like, you know, he's running his own race.
Yeah.
If you want to get on with it, that seems like a you problem. You can't tell a driver you're holding someone up. We don't even race for the same. We don't even hold. We don't race for the same team.
I feel like Sainz also complained about that on his team radio. But he was like, Ocon is holding me up, but again, he's not racing on your team. So if you want him not to hold you up, overtake him on track.
Go past him, you know.
Yeah, and he complained a lot on the team radio about strategy and whatnot, and then, you know, I feel like the pressure kind of got to him. He had the whole incident,
where he did a moment.
Yeah, he lost, if I could say, a piece of his front wing.
But you know, you again, like, it's Monaco, you can run without a front wing because there's no danger of overtake. Like, it's so hard to overtake in Monaco that he could run without the front wing.
After he got the damage, I thought they were actually going to change the whole wing because I saw the mechanics were out with the wing, but I think they chose not to do that because, you know, the FIA didn't actually make a comment about it. So I think they decided that the wing was actually
intact
still, that he could go racing with it.
Yeah, so the only point, like, maybe where a flag, I don't know what color of the flag would be.
He would have got black and white flags.
Oh, black and white flag is if, like, maybe, for example, his nose was actually hanging.
Yeah, and we've seen that quite a bit with Nico Hülkenberg. Yeah, he got black and white flags.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, for his wing as well was damaged, so he had to go back to the pits. Yeah. But you see, and if you get that again, you're gonna get a penalty.
And he did get a penalty because he was like, it was like Ocon all over again, serving a penalty for not serving a penalty correctly. Yeah, so it's crazy. Like, I don't get you're being punished for not being punished, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, just that takes me back to the fact that also Lewis, he didn't get a penalty, but he did get a fine for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, he did. I did say, like, but
it's just, I will say pocket change.
It's pocket change for them.
600 euros.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. I mean, if it's better than a time penalty.
Yeah. But I mean,
I feel like Carlos did to FIA to run operations.
I feel like there's usually a lot of miscommunication, if I could say miscommunication, between the drivers, the Ferrari drivers, and the actual pit wall.
Oh my
it was
God,
box, stay out. Box,
I feel like the first time the team really, they're the ones who wanted, like, him to come in. Yeah. But then he was like, no, he knows if he goes in, he's gonna lose track position. So he decided to stay out. The next time, I think it was him wanting to come in, and then he couldn't. They decided let him stay out. So it was like, I feel like Ferrari still. I still feel, even coming to a weekend where maybe sometimes they have the pace to do things. Yeah. There's always something that, like, there's something that's not really meshing for them to actually have a complete package and like have a successful race weekend.
They're running a race with one hand tied to their backs, and that is the pit wall and communication. I
feel like there's like an operational gap that is going on
because in the quali session. Charles would not have got the penalty if there was good communication, because they would have told him there's someone coming out of the pits. Yeah, but that miscommunication cost him a lot.
That's a lot in Monaco. It's a lot. And also, like, if you look at the race now we're going dissecting it. I'm just going to jump into the race as well. I feel like they had a chance. They also were, like, they had an operational error, like, with their strategy, because now they ended up with their drivers, like, the Mercedes cars, they double stacked for, like, once. Yeah. Sometimes I'm always, like, crossing my fingers because we're not very good with double stacking.
And double stacking.
So, but we double stacked successfully with, like, very good times. Yeah. Like,
but also, Lewis's first stop was pretty slow, if I could say. It was slow.
And I feel like with Lewis, I don't know if, like, setting on mediums was, like, the best strategy. I feel like they had Russell in terms of strategy, knowing that the rain was coming later. Yeah. Like, Russell was definitely on a better strategy than Lewis, because I feel like he's always so lucky with the strategy.
There's just something about him in his aura.
He rides around that safety car. He always benefits.
He brings a lot of advantage to himself, because you can find Lewis pitting and Russell says he wants to stay out, and in the next lap there's a safety car.
Yeah. So yesterday I actually thought that would on paper, and it looked like Russell was going to overtake Lewis, especially when the rain started coming, but then he had, they pitted. Yes, even he pitted fast.
Yeah.
They pitted George, and then they pitted Lewis in the double stack, and then Russell had that moment with
Perez.
with I don't even know what lap was Perez. Perez had quite. Oh my god! It's
Perez
a race he wants to forget about.
Yeah, I know. He just got out of the car after the race, and he was like, "I just want to go home."
Right?
Because our race was
shambles.
when we got into the race, I actually thought when he overtook the cars and he was P16, I actually thought he was going maybe to make it into the points.
Really?
Yeah, I thought he had a fighting chance to make it. Maybe a P10. I mean, he's in a Red Bull. He's not in a slow car.
But you see, the thing is, I think from the word go, I don't know why. I mean, we had him on mediums, like in P20, and then we had those. I don't know what those two cars jumped into the pits. They pitted him again. There was someone who had damage, who had a puncture, so they pitted.
Lance Stroll
had
a puncture.
Yeah. No, was he the one who pitted fast, really?
No, but he did have a puncture.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. He also had not a very good race.
When they went bowling with Logan Sargent.
Oh, yeah, that's what we were calling the bowling.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm so sure it's Crofty who called it bowling.
Yeah, I think it's you remember the race with Bottas where he took out 5 cars?
Oh my god. Oh, that's the bowling. They're talking about you can just take out 5 cars. Yeah. So as I'm saying, they Perez was on mediums, and then he pitted, and then he got in hard.
I think they wanted him to go long.
He did get ahead of 2 cars. So if they wanted him, or maybe they wanted the mediums, thinking they would get a very good start.
Yeah.
Because the mediums are good with the grip.
Yeah.
But then they pitted maybe to play the long game. He did with him pitting. He did go ahead of 2 cars at least. He was P18. No, honestly, it was a shit show.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought with the coming of the rain, if I can call it the coming of the rain,
he was not at any advantage. At some point, when the rain comes. So in Formula 1, we have 2 tires. We have the inters.
Yeah, and the full wets.
Full wets it's when it's really really wet.
Yeah.
And the inters are coming when the rain's starting. Now we're transitioning from the slicks to the to the wet conditions. So we had I think among the first people who jumped in to get the slicks to get the inters I even forgot who got in fast to get the inters, but I feel if you jumped in early, that was good.
Yeah.
They pitted Alonso
and then put
medium. It was already raining. I don't get. And then 1 lap later,
they bring him in on inters.
That was I feel that's where also Aston Martin went a little bit off with their strategy.
But can we just talk about how Max went all those laps on mediums? I mean, but he was in cleaner air. So
he was in clean air, so that means he was not taking so much life out of the tires. Exactly. So I mean, he did honestly. He bested everywhere, in dry. Wet. I actually thought Aston Martin had a fighting chance, but
nothing much happened after it started raining.
After that whole, apart from
I mean, Sainz went off at one point.
Yeah, I mean, I think also the fact that I think the Mercedes pitted before the Ferraris, and that's how the Mercedes were able to get effectively ahead of.
Yeah, they finished in front of the 2 Ferraris.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. These strategical errors, operational errors.
But I feel if Lewis did not pit, if he had not had the extra pit stop, he was in a position to compete for P3.
Even P2.
Yeah, but unfortunately, he, F1 is not a game of what ifs. It's
Yes, we even had a moment that we won't even fail to mention it where, when, Russell was behind Lewis and he's calling for inversion, after he got his penalty,
the 5-second penalty.
For inversion of cars. I mean, was it fair play? Do you think it was fair play?
I don't think so because I really don't think so. I mean, Lewis was behind Ocon, but within a reasonable time, and the gap that Russell had built against Leclerc would have offered him a buffer if he took the penalty, the 5-second penalty. So I did not get why he wanted to get jump ahead of Lewis, but he said he was like, I'm gonna jump ahead Lewis, but I'm gonna maintain the gap at less than 5 seconds and make sure when I get the penalty, I'm just behind Lewis, and Lewis is, can get the fourth place. But Lewis's race is with Ocon,
not with like
not.
So I was like, I feel like maybe he was overstepping in that.
Yeah,
sense.
he was.
Okay, but at first I did get his reasoning. Like, there's a time Lewis really the gap, he dropped Ocon for a beat.
Yeah,
and then now what he wanted. Like, I think the Bonington, like side of the Bono and
but
side
that
of
was
the
before.
garage. Okay.
But that was before, because going into the last laps of the race, George Russell actually almost caught Lewis, if I could say that.
Yeah, and that's
he
what
almost caught Lewis.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's also quite. I mean, I'm not even saying it's fair play. At first, it did make sense.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Leclerc was catching.
Yeah, was catching
George, and also now he wanted to get ahead of Lewis so he can build a bit of a gap.
Yeah.
But okay, now I think he became a problem.
Where he's like, I feel laps later he's asking if Lewis is competing with Ocon or he can have a go at it. I'm like, you wanted to have a buffer before you are given a penalty, and now you want to overtake Lewis. Like, come on, if you want to overtake someone, do it on the track.
And it's actually like the inversion of cars in Monaco is quite hard, especially when it was raining. There was already like a dry line of racing because using the inters. So it's actually like quite hard to find a place where we'll have Lewis move over to the side and have him go, and also not disadvantage Lewis. Like, in that sense.
But I'm happy they didn't tell Lewis about it.
Yeah, because that would have been like. I just feel like that's. I mean, we did see Russell come close to Lewis, but even that was also like more or less the same gap between Ocon and Lewis as well.
Yeah.
And then after a while saying he wants to chase Ocon, I'm like, and then he did end up finishing like 10 seconds.
It was 12 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. At least Lewis finished 2 seconds behind Ocon. I did think he was going to be able to catch him, but the gap wasn't really subsiding to a significant level. It was very much fluctuating between 2 seconds, 1 second, and he's under a second, and then goes back to like a 1.5, 1.7. Sure. So, but I mean, the race ended, Max comfortably in
More
P1.
than comfortable.
I mean, this man will have pit, took a snack,
took a piece,
and then like stretched a bit, and then got back on track, and we will have won very comfortably. If you wanted to take like a run on a different set of tires, like he will. If he wanted to go tire testing and put
this was his place to do that. I mean, I don't know how. I don't think I'm enjoying this Formula One where we already know presets.
You already know in your mind that everybody's competing for P2, P3, and P2 is not very much guaranteed unless Perez makes a mistake.
Exactly. Like something that like what happened this weekend.
So the race ended. Max won. And with the Formula One cars, so you can just see Max zoom past, and then there's like an awkward silence, and then Alonso.
Awkward silence. Then Alonso, and then we had Ocon.
Yeah, he was on the podium. I was very happy to see that.
This is his third podium, like in his career, but he's won in Hungary.
Yeah.
And then he had like a P2 in Sakir. Sakir, and then this was his third podium. So it was actually nice, and for him to refer to himself with his nickname, Estie Bestie is on the podium.
That meme where the someone who's not even the first on P1, P2, P3 is celebrating more than the one on who's actually won the race.
Yeah, this is what we want. We want more cars competing like effectively for like the top positions,
for the win.
Not like, oh, you're P1. Yeah. Okay, very well.
Yeah, for the win. I mean, can I say I think the Mercedes upgrades brought anything? No, not exactly. To this track, ideally, I mean, we wouldn't know because when you're coming to Monaco is not, it's unlike any other track. Yeah.
So when even teams are coming to Monaco, they bring like specific changes that are specific to this
specific changes.
Yeah, but then we had they had to come with those changes they had made for Imola, the package. They had to bring it in
because they're already like fused to the chassis, so they can't change them. But now it's race week. again.
Next week we are going to Barcelona.
Yeah.
I love Barcelona.
I love Barcelona. It's a beautiful track. The track layout is amazing.
I think the drivers as well love it because they do most of their winter testing in Barcelona. And it's also like a circuit that Lewis likes. And I mean, I really hope like now we can see the extent of our package. Like we can see how good the
it can deliver.
Yeah,
and it's a home race to two drivers, Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz. So
actually, and Alonso is the only like Spanish world champion. But we keep not mention it enough. He's a 2 times world champion. Yeah. And they're the two only like I think Grand Prix winners, Sainz and. Yeah, I think so.
So I'm very hopeful to see more action in Barcelona.
No, now this one you can expect overtakes. This one you can come
at least it's not a narrow track. It's the track is wider. There's a longer street.
And they're also like this the corners like they're slow speeds and high speed corners. So it's not like as tight
as Monaco was.
Yeah. So now we have like a decent race track. Like let's see. Let's see. Okay, I won't say that Red Bull. No, I can't even say I want to say it actually because we might say there's a good track and then Red Bull comes and finishes a pit stop ahead of everyone.
But let's see how the Aston Martin can deliver, how the Ferrari and the Mercedes can deliver. And just checking the standings, Max is leading. I won't say he's leading by
it's quite a large mark. If he wins this race and like there's no one like really giving him a run for his money, we will be giving this. But the thing is, I love saying it's Formula One. We don't know sometimes.
Aston Martin hasn't brought substantial upgrades, so they can't find an answer to the Red Bull. A miracle, if I can say a miracle.
No, honestly, I feel like Red Bull are set up to like when we'll change the regs in 2026. They came up with a car that's really sticking to the ground, great grip, no moving around. It's like when
this is
man and machinery like comes together, and we have Max driving their car. It's really going to be hard to beat them. And they also sit very comfortably with a good like the communication between the pit crew and the driver. Excellent. Their strategy team. What's the name of their chief strategist? She's this amazing Hannah Schmidt.
Yeah,
she's amazing. She's a genius.
Yeah, we have to wait and see what happens in Barcelona. But I'm very hopeful we actually go racing. And when I say racing, we see overtakes on the track. I don't want to make any prediction for race weekend. But the only thing I can hope for is Yuki getting his points this year. He's been very unlucky. He has promising qualifying sessions.
He's a very good qualifier. He qualifies beautifully.
Yeah, something happens in the race. Like what happened in Monaco. He had, brake issues. Yeah. And Yuki's radios, they're very interesting.
He's a comedian.
I think he gets very angry.
Do you want me to crash? He's hilarious.
Yeah, I hope he gets his points.
I do hope he gets them in Catalonia.
Yeah, I hope he gets his first points of the season in Barcelona. I hope Mercedes is in the in the fight.
In the constructors, we are like one point behind the Aston Martin. That's good for people who are dragging their car around the track.
A tractor.
We are dragging
a tractor across the track.
Correct. So let's just hope that, this weekend promises action. Yeah. And we can't wait to get into it.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
So we'll make our prediction over at our Instagram page. You can follow us there at the Wheel Spin Podcast. We are on Twitter as well, the Wheel Spin Podcast, and TikTok as well.
And feel free to also make your predictions and tag us.
Please tag us, yeah. So we are available on YouTube and also available on all podcasting platforms. So you can have like this visual, version of our podcast.
You can see us
and
here.
You can listen to Arsena. Give us a listen. So thank you for the love you guys have shown us.
We were very, very grateful.
Episode, very grateful. Yeah. And we can't wait to grow with you guys.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for giving us a listen today.
Yeah.
Have a lovely week ahead, and we'll see you in Barcelona.
Yeah, can't wait to go racing again.
Bye.
Bye, guys.